All right, what's going on? Just about to send a link out to everyone, then we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and get this link out. All right, bet. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So, quick little recap. Holding New Zealand JPY, and then I still got New Zealand CAD. And I've been keeping a close eye on these two because this one already went to the bottom of the zone, but as you can see, it broke under. Now it's retesting. So what I'm doing right now is just keeping an eye on it to see if it's going to do a few things. I want to see it do a couple things. So I want to see if it's going to retest and keep pushing down, or after this retest, it's going to push back up. So that's what I'm looking at right there to see what it's going to do. And then New Zealand JPY is in the middle of the zone. It's doing a little retest here, but I like to see it continue to push back down after this. So that's what we're looking at for those. Just going to keep an eye on those. But also going to be looking for some other setups because we got 30 minutes until the lending session starts. It's Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. Let's see here. So we caught some US30 sales yesterday, but as you can see right here, it's doing what I anticipated it to do. So now I'm just going to be waiting to see how it reacts right here. It's not actually at the top of the zone yet. It almost hit the top, but it's retracing a little bit. But I just want to reserve US30 for the most part. I'm most likely going to leave it alone for the day. And I'm just going to be watching to see exactly what it decides to do for the most part. Which I'm fine with because, again, I only want to enter when I know exactly what it's most likely going to do. And right now, it's in a little spot. I could look for something, but again, I'm just going to observe to see what it's going to do later into London and then especially into New York. And now I'll decide if I want to do something then. Same thing with NAS100. NAS100 is in the middle of the zone. So I'm just going to watch and see what it does. I'm just going to be observing it for the most part. It's not exactly where I would like it to be. It's not a terrible situation or spot, but I don't have to trade NAS every day, so I'm just going to be watching it to see what it's going to do. If I see an opportunity that I like, I might hop on it, but as of now, I'm just watching, leaving it alone. Now, Jared 30, on the other hand, is in a little better of a position. We can see we're kind of in downtrend still, but this range right here, this is a very strong support resistance level. We see support here, we see the resistance. We see support, we see the resistance. So It hit the top, so I might be looking for possible sales for the 30 as volume picks up. Most likely, I could be looking for sales for that, but we're going to see what it decides to do in London, New York session. But the setup is looking good. It already retested a level here, retested it multiple times. So let's see. Yeah, possibly could go for sales here, but I'm going to wait to see what it does in London session. Because again, Jerk 30 sometimes likes to follow, for the most part, US30 and the other futures. Sometimes it does its own thing. So I'm just going to wait for some more confirmations to see if it wants to stay underneath this level and possibly push down to the downside again. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, but possibly Jerk 30 sales. Um, let's see what else we got here. SPX is a little bit different. It looks the same like the other futures and indices, but as you can see right here, it is above the zone. So I want to see how it reacts to the zone right here. I want to see if it's going to stay on the top. Okay, screen. Give me 1 second. It's like every other day wants to act up now. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. Alright, here we go. Okay, so like I was saying, it's on the top of the zone. So what I want to do is take a closer look to see exactly what price it's going to do. Is it going to stay on this top of this level of price, or is it going to break back under and possibly look for sales, or if it's going to stay on top of this level and then go up? So that's what I'm watching to see how it's going to react. As you can see, it's respecting this level of price as of now for the past 4, 8, 12 hours. You can see that closely here. Did a retest, dropped, bounce, retest. So far it's respecting this level. So I want to see when volume picks up what it's going to do. If it's going to push up or it's going to come back under here. Because as you can see, it looks a little bit different from your 30 candle wise right here. But on the bigger time frames, you can see SPX looks very similar to US30 and NAS100. But again, these are all different prices. These are all live values, and they all have their own characteristics. They just sometimes move similarly, but that, like I always say, that doesn't mean just because one's shooting down or one's shooting up, they should automatically enter buys for all the other ones. You still want to do your analysis and see and determine if it is going to do what the other pairs are doing. Now, as we can see here, USDX, it's in the middle of the zone on top of this 4-hour level of price. So I want to see how it's going to react. I want to see if it's going to break back under and drop down again, or if it's going to shoot back up with US30 when volume comes into play. So I'm just going to be really watching this one to just see exactly what it decides to do. Because it still is the beginning of the week, and the futures and indices are in a little bit choppy situation. So I'm in no rush to jump into them. I want to see exactly what is most likely trying to do and then just ride the wave and, catch thousands of pips. So I don't mind waiting for the right setup. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this to see what it does. US oil, same thing. We caught a few hundred pips on US oil yesterday. Then it retraced back up on us after it almost broke the previous low underneath the zone. Now it's on top of the zone for retracement. So what I really want to see is same thing when volume picks up, what it's going to do. Now, if it's just going to shoot up, I'm just going to leave it alone. It might fill this up. So if it's going to shoot up and just fill that up, I'm just going to leave it alone. But if it drops back underneath this lower price, I might look for potential sells again. But as of now, I'm really just going to be watching and leaving it alone. There's no reason to hop in it right now. Yeah, so I'm just going to be watching it. Not too much though, because it's pretty far up in this level. So I'm not going to be entering it anytime soon unless it retraces back down or something like that. So it could be potential buys, could be potential sells, depending on what it's trying to do. Now gold, and just some shorts because it kept bouncing and ranging as we can see on the smaller time frame. But when we entered, it did not go our way. Stop loss did get hit, and now it's playing this level of price right here. So as of now for gold, the same thing. I'm just going to be watching to see what it does. I'm going to see if it's going to fill this up. There's some balance here. Most likely, I want to wait to see if it fills this up and then possibly look for a sell at the top of the zone. But if it doesn't do that and decides to keep dropping from here, depending on the momentum, I might look for a sell, but I most likely want to see it retrace to back up to here and then look for a sell at this top level of price at 1693.50. But we're just going to have to wait to see what it decides to do because as you can see, it's just been playing at this lower price for the past few hours. So on the hour time frame, so later 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 30, 12 hours. But really more 13, 14, 15, 16, like 16, 17 hours. It's just been playing at this level right here. Not even including this right here. So I really want to see which way it's going to break. I want to see if it's going to break and push back up here, which would be a good sell position, possibly, or if it's going to break back under here and then see and decide if we want to sell from there. That's what gold is looking like. Silver, very same thing on this level of price. So I'm just going to be watching these about the same as gold. And except this one's underneath this level of price. So possibly same thing, a little sell position here. So I'm going to keep an eye on it to see what it does when volume picks up. But for the most part, it looks like I'm going to be focusing mainly on currency pair opportunities until most likely New York session, especially for the futures indices, because it's still got a few thousand pips to move before I see any good entries on that. So that's fine. So I'm just going to be focusing on currency pairs until probably pre-New York session, most likely. So US30 right here, we can see when we zoom out on the daily time frame that we are in somewhat of a downtrend, but downtrend could have potentially ended after. So we have this going on, lower lows, lower highs, blah blah blah. Then we get this ranging, then it shoots back down right here. Then we get some more ranging, then it broke right here. So it almost broke this high here, then it rejected, and now we're right here. So I really want to see if it's just going to fill this up and then shoot back down, or if the uptrend may or may not begin. Because we can see here for the past few days, it's been slowly going up and it hasn't hit the bottom of the zone like it did the past few times here. So it is showing some bullish momentum, but we also got to keep in mind that overall it's still in a mostly downtrend. But right here, it could switch up on us. So that's what I want to see if that's the case, if it's going to continue to push up on us, because it has this huge imbalance to fill though. So it could just go to the middle zone and then retrace back down. So that's another thing. So whether it goes zone to zone is one thing, but as of now, it does look like it's on top of this lower price, and it might just attempt to fill up this imbalance at least to the halfway mark. So that's what I'm looking for right there. Let's see exactly if it's going to do that. But if it continues to stay on this lower price and seem to want to push up, I might just go for a quick little buy-in. Like I said, it wouldn't be probably zone to zone, even though the imbalance is filled here. I'd probably see if it wants to at least hit right here. Probably right here. Which is still a 1 to 2 risk to reward, even right there. So that's what I'd probably be looking at right there. But again, we got 10 minutes before New York. I mean, not New York, London. So I'm going to wait to see what it does when London starts. But yeah, I don't really see so far anything. No, nothing's really happening yet. But that's normal. So just looking for possible setups and a game plan for when London and New York session starts. That's the main part of going in the charts before the session starts, so you know exactly what to be looking for. You're not trying to figure it out as volume's pumping and pushing. Now, Euro JPY, like I talked about yesterday with my members, is still in a very bullish formation. I want to see if it's going to stack on top of this level of price, continue to push up. It hit this zone, it dropped back down, stayed on this 4-hour level. As you can see, then it's pushing back up to test the zone again. So when London/New York starts, I want to see mainly two things, how it reacts to this. I want to see if it's going to drop back down and then possibly drop back to the bottom of the zone and then maybe attempt to shoot back up. Or I want to see if it's going to finally break this level, because it already broke these previous highs right here. It's already done that. So I want to see if it's going to break this level and then shoot up. So that's what I'm waiting to see on Euro JPY. So I'm just going to be paying attention to that and just waiting. So far, it's still rejecting this level of price and treating it like a resistance level, but it is still very early into the day. It can very much break through. Just going to wait to see what it does exactly. So as you can see here, this whole hour it's just been shooting up and it broke past the previous highs. So it is trying to make something happen. So I'm going to be paying attention to Euro JPY to see what the move for this will be. Same thing with Euro AUD. It was in a downtrend right here. The downtrend ended here. The uptrend began here. And for the past 1 to 2 days, it's failed to break this level. It's rejected off of it twice. So I want to see if it's going to do the same thing today. Is it going to reject off of it? Or if it's going to break through and continue the bullish trend. So that's what I'm going to be waiting to see with Euro AUD. Now, as you can see, it hasn't broken it, and it's a little bit lower from the zone. It's underneath this level of price. It's also on top of this level of price. So it's really going to be a volume. It's really going to be up to volume, like always, for when it comes in to determine if, to determine which way it's going to go. So I'm just going to be patiently waiting, but could possibly see sell setups, but also if the euro is still strong and it's pushing it, could be possible buy setups. So just going to keep an eye on that to see what it does. Euro GBP. We called this buy yesterday in the signal room. This one was actually a free signal room. Hit all the TPs, did exactly what I said in the last live stream. So if you didn't watch yesterday's live stream, I suggest watching that after this live stream. But it did exactly what I wanted to do. It broke the past previous highs. Then look what happened after it did that. Didn't go too much farther before it retraced back down. We can't see it. I'm not going to scroll too far to show it. I've shown it before, and my members know what I'm talking about. So, but as you can see, we got a cool almost 1 to 2 risk reward. Barely was any drawdown, really, unless it was when you just entered. Had the huge candlestick shoot up, starting lower price, hit all the TPs, then retrace back down, shooting up. So even if y'all didn't close, y'all should still be in profit, but y'all should have really closed when it was up here or got wicked out yesterday, but y'all still holding. It could possibly finish the move today, that's for sure, because it still hasn't gone to the bottom of the zone. It's still been stacking top of this level of price, so it could very much try to finish the move. And finishing the move, I mean, hit the top of the zone. But me personally, I'm out of that trade. I got out of it yesterday. And unless it retraces pretty far, I'm just going to leave it alone. Now, Euro New Zealand has been very bullish the past couple weeks. Just been shooting up, as you can see. So it already broke past this. It's on top of this level price. So I'm about to put another zone here and then go on a smaller time frame to take a closer look to see exactly what it most likely will do. I'm just keeping an eye on my trades because, like I said, I'm still in New Zealand JPY, and I'm still in New Zealand CAD. Just floating in profit on those. Those are doing pretty good still. But let me see. What would be my next level? I probably put one right here. Right here. I'm just gonna put it right here. Yeah. All right. Now let's take a closer look to see what it's doing. So this is the 2 hours left on the 4-hour time frame. It's been staying up here, rejected a level here. I can see what it hit. Filled up almost that entire imbalance on this candlestick, which is good. So what I want to see is when volume picks up, is it going to continue to stay on top of this level of price? Which should very much most likely do. So I'm gonna keep an eye on Euro New Zealand too for possible buys, unless it shows us otherwise as we go further into the day. Let's see here. I can see possible buy setups here. UFCHF, well, that thing's rejecting harshly. Okay. So this one, we're in a downtrend for the most part. Did a huge retracement here, but immediately rejected. Reattempt to reject it. And ever since that huge rejection, it's been shooting back down. So I'm assuming this is a lower high, and I would be looking for sell positions and sell opportunities. And then we're going to smaller time frame. We can see how it's actually rejecting in real time to this zone. So will this be the first signal of the day? Is the question. Because it's pushing down. Let me see. Started retested, broken. This is on top of that level of price. Could break through that level. My SLB. Let's see here. Huge rejection. I'm gonna keep an eye on this, but I might enter this in a second. I'm gonna see what the next candlestick shows me, but I might enter this one. So I'm gonna come back to Euro CHF, but I do like how it looks, so this might be a good sell setup. So we're gonna see, but let me keep looking at some other pairs while that happens. You see this is rejecting off the 50 here. Let's see here. We're ranging and zoning for a little bit, finally broke out of it. Now it's stuck underneath this level, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. I like how your CHF's looking. So we got 1 minute to London session, so I might switch back to that chart when London session starts to see what I'm gonna do with it, or what I might want to do with it. But speaking of which, I'm just gonna put those wicks right here. GBP USD, some interesting position. Potential sales. Not an ideal setup though, but I might take a look at that later. But 1 second. All right, when the session has started. So GPJPY, well, that thing's pushing. And it's about to fill this up, so it's a little too far for me. If it retraces, I like to see it retrace a little bit more. If it retraces, like maybe right here. I don't know, because it's pretty far up. Just ran off on us. So if it retraces some more, I might try to look for GJ, but that's a lot of pips of drawdown before even going on the other side of the zone that I don't want to take. So I'm just going to leave that alone for now. UFCHS retracing a little bit, so retesting. So literally that candle within 2 minutes shot back up, and now we're right here. So that's very interesting. So I'm gonna jump back on that later, see what it's doing. GP New Zealand, that thing's just been shooting up. So on top of that zone, yeah, so I'm just leaving this alone. It's too late for me to enter this. So yeah, I'm just gonna be leaving that one alone. Maybe look back at it New York session, but I'm just gonna be leaving that alone. Then we got GBP AUD on the 50 of this imbalance right here. Past couple days hasn't broken past it. So I might look for potential short setups. Maybe. Because they're jacking off of this pretty nicely. I might look for potential short setups. Just want to see what the next couple candlesticks do. Could see some potential short setups. Or maybe like this. Let's see here. Let's do AUD. Keep an eye on that. Let's go back to Euro CHF. They're still just chilling. See what Jared 30 is doing. Okay, for Jared 30 is dropping. Jared 30 is dropping pretty nice. Euro New Zealand pushing back up. These might be the setups. Might be the setups. So I like how US30 is looking. It's still early in the session. Yeah, US30 is just, yeah, US30 is not moving like US30. So let's see what this next 5-minute candlestick does. It could very much retrace after hitting this level. But let's see what the next 5-minute candlestick does. And I might just enter this. Let's see what GJ is doing. Yeah, GJ is just shooting up. Yeah, everybody's shooting. I know a retracement, at least a retest one time, might happen, but I like how Jared 30 is looking, so I might hop on this in a second. Let's see what these other pairs are doing. ADJPY pushing back up. ADSD possibly sells. Maybe. Let's go back to this. Let's see what this is doing. All right, doing the retest. A nice little retest. Yes, I'm not interrupt that retest. Yeah, GJ just running off now. Oh, what's doing? Yeah, that's doing that. Okay. So I did a retest, which is good. So now I'm contemplating if I want to enter off this retest. Because it's still looking like a good sell setup. This will be a good position. I could tighten stop loss if I really wanted to. No, I'm gonna keep the stop loss right there because that's a 1 to 3 risk rewards too. And I like how this is looking. That's shooting up too. So I'm gonna see what the next 15-minute candlestick looks like. So let me look at some other pairs. Yeah, we're just 7 minutes in, but I don't really see much action yet. Which is fine. Might just put this on right here for now. Could possibly look for possible shorts for GC because we are in an overall downtrend. Could come back up here though. Let's see. Still respecting as low as a resistance level, but it's slowly been going higher, higher, and higher. As you can see by these 4-hour candlesticks. So that's something to keep in mind. Just going to keep an eye on this to see what it decides to do. There's not a lot of stuff going on right now. So I'm going to just keep an eye on a couple of these, but it looks like it's going to be, like I said, probably pre-New York, unless news happen within these next couple hours, which is very possible. But it looks like it's really a good entry. Let's see what the next candlestick looks like. I like how that's looking. And New Zealand's doing that. Let's use F. USD's after the retest and it's pushing again. Yeah, I like how this looks. I like how this looks. Yeah. Yeah, I might enter this right here. At least go here. This will be the first target right here. This will be a 1 to 2. So I might wait for the, well, let me see what this does. I might wait for the next 15-minute candlestick, also next 5-minute, to hop in this as well. So let's see what it does. But I'm liking how this looks right here. 132. That thing's shooting up. Is US30 shooting up too? Yeah. Yeah, so it's still following US30. So the US30 is almost at the top of the zone 2. So that is good. It's not a bad thing. So depending on how US30 reacts to that level could determine if we're going to catch a bunch of pips to that. So we could catch a bunch of pips. SPX on top of the zone shooting up. So we're still mismatch. The question is, I want to go for a buy setup though. So we rejected off the zone right here. On top of this resistance and support level. That was a huge 15-minute candlestick. It just broke the previous high. Broke the previous high here too. Top of the zone. Yeah, so we're going to see what in the next 2 minutes what this next candlestick's looking like. Because I feel like this next candlestick's going to determine a lot of things for us. Yeah, USD pushing up too. Yeah, so I like how USDHS looking. I feel like the next candle could be a retracement. I like how your AD is looking too. It's still pushing down. So I might look for some sell setups. Where would my stop loss be though? $50.35. Yeah. Cool. So from right here, this will be like a 1-to-1. You enter right here, be a 1-to-2. Yeah, I'm looking how this is looking too. So I might enter this. I like how your CHS looking. Yeah, I might enter the next candlestick. It's rejecting off this level, which is good. Alright. So we're seeing a lot of setups possibly about to happen here. Let's see here. Let's retracing down. Yeah. But not this one. Yeah, I'm about to enter these. It's going to retest. I'm about to enter these. Yeah, I'm entering both of these. Let me go ahead and put these signals out. Alright, so it's going to be. Well, wait, let me do. Type in this one first. Let me do this one. Yeah, so like I said, I entering. These things are ripping as we speak. So if you're on the stream, you're already in these. I'm about to put these. I'm typing the signals right now. I'm just gonna put the TPs after the facts because they're different. Same thing, Euro AUD, just not as much as Euro CHF. Put in my entry. 1906. 50.35. Alright, bet. So now I'm going to get the TPs. Let me just look at other pairs I was looking at and make sure they're not doing nothing too crazy. Yeah, but I'm still in JPY. New Zealand CAD still chilling right here. So I'm still floating deep and profiting New Zealand CAD. So let me put these TPs in for the people in the signal rooms. And then, yeah, we're just going to watch these charts and see what they do. So first TP is going to be, could put it right here. Could put it, TP1 is going to be 4,900. TP2 is going to be 3,890. Do we got maybe and let me put USDHS TPs. What was my entry? 9963. Where the entry got right here? So the first two actually kind of got hit already, which is cool. Actually no, that's too close of one. Let's do 9963. Yeah, there goes the retracement. I'm not tripping about that though. Let's see here. All right, so let's see. We want to see what next candlestick's looking like. TP1 499. All right, so they're retracing a little bit, but yeah, so we're going to see if it wants to continue to push down. So as we can see here, it's just been ranging, hasn't really broken this. So I want to see if it's going to break through these and push back down. Possibly fill this up, then continue the uptrend. It's rejected 2 days off this, but stayed at this level too. So it could push up, but our stop loss is decent. So we're going to see what it's going to do. Good 30, still shooting up. Let's see. Yeah. GM would have been a nice entry position, but it's all good. So I want to see what the next 15-minute candlestick does. Still not too far from entry though, so I'm not tripping too much. But we're going to see what it does. But while those doing this thing, let's see what other pairs we can be looking at. Yeah, I'm not gonna let New Zealand CAD shoot too far up. So all TPs got hit. It went zone to zone. So I'm not gonna let too much of my profits. I just want to see if it's gonna continue down. It went down a little bit. Now it's retesting this level. So if it breaks past probably like right here, I might just close and be done for this position. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. New Zealand USD shot off. So all the USD pairs are shooting up right now. So unless things change, let's see. Then the GBP is really strong right now. So there's nothing's pushing. This is pushing. US30 is pushing. Sure. Still reacts to that zone well though, so that's a good sign. But yeah, I'm not gonna be trigger happy with these future NC positions. But so far, SPX is still stacking on this price. So maybe might look for SPX buys. Maybe. I'm gonna keep an eye on SPX, but as of now, I see possible buy positions. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that. Let's see how our trades are doing. Your AD is pushing, which is good. Your CHF push. Did it hit a TP? Let me see. Your CHF 95.55. Let me see if it hit a TP. Here it is. Let me see. No, I missed it by 2 pips. Your CHF. So your CHF's TP got missed by 2 pips. Ain't tripping. Your AD's first TP is 4,900. Missed it by 4 pips, but it's still pushing. It's doing a retest and a little retracement right now. But like I said, just missed that TP by a couple pips. So I want to see if it's going to push down and try to hit that again. Your AD still pushing. Struggling to break this. It's a couple pips away from the first TP. But so far, it is looking good. Depending on what this does, I might look for potentially some buy setups. Just gonna keep an eye on it to see what it does though. All right, hit the top of the zone. So now we need to see how it's going to react to the top of the zone. Keep an eye on that. Your IUD is pushing, but it's retracing a little bit right now. I'm not tripping too much about that. Your CHF's doing a retest. Not too worried about that though. Retesting this level, I want to see it shoot back down. So let's see if it decides to do that. Yep, so 1 minute to the next 5 and 15-minute candlestick pops up, and we're going to see what these pairs are going to do at that time. And I'm just going to focus on these pairs right now. Just keep an eye on the trades we're in to see what they're doing. Okay, this one's retesting too. Okay, so US30 rejecting and shooting back down. US30 is looking like it's doing the same thing. Yeah, so US30 is looking like a good setup now too. It just retested the level and it's rejecting back down. And it's pushing. Let's take a look on the bigger time frames, see what it's doing. So we still got 2 hours to the next 4-hour candlestick. Sit here, fill this up, shot up, hit the zone, shot back down, pushing. It's just pushing hard as we speak. Yeah, I'm liking how this looks. That's the farthest it's gone. Farthest it's gone is right here. There's still a few decent amount of hits. So I might try to see what this does. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep an eye on that. I kind of like how it looks. So I might wait till the next 5 minutes to see what it does. Your AUD's doing a retest. Pretty normal stuff. Euro CHF's going back down for a push. Who's the TPs again? TP Euro CHF's 99.55. So we're right back at entry. CHF's pushing. So I'm liking how Dread that he's looking. Going to 5 minutes. Like I said, the next 5 minute candle and it's pushing. Yeah, I'm gonna enter that. I already have the TP set up. I have short TPs. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna enter this. Yep. Yeah, I entered this. So stop loss is going to be 13,050. So we're gonna see what this does right here. Yeah, so we're gonna see what that's doing. But I enter that. I put the TPs and all that in the advanced play signal room. So that's the member signal room. So they have the TPs, but those in the live stream. I did hop into Jared 30. So we're gonna see what that's gonna do. I'm still in Euro AUD. Still in Euro CHF. Your CHF is pushing though. We're like 3 pips away from TP1. So that's good. We're about 3 pips away from TP1. Yeah, let's just shoot it now. Go ahead and keep going. Yeah. So Jared 30, y'all entered. Y'all should be almost blue now, because I know spread's a thing. So if y'all not blue, y'all should be almost blue, because I'm blue right now. TP1 just got hit. So that is looking good. That thing's pushing. The AD's playing around right now, but USCHF's pushing, US30's pushing. Literally missed TP1 by 1 pip. So I want to see if on this next 5-minute candlestick, it can make it happen. It's doing a retest right now. So we're just going to see what it's doing. We're still early into London, so I'm not tripping too much. I want to see what this next 5-minute, 15-minute candlestick's going to do for us, though. But US30, we're breaking past TP1 again, so y'all should be blue on US30. Yeah, things just pushing down. Next TP is going to be 12,830. So we're about 700, 800 pips away from that. But yeah, US30 is tanking. And yeah, we could have entered here, but again, I like to make sure that I want price to show me that it's doing what I want it to do before I enter. That way, it just increases my probabilities of price going my way and increases my chances of making money. So there's that. Let's see, these trades. I'm not worried about that too much. Let's see. Is there anything else? Any other potential setups? Looks like most of them ain't gonna be coming until pre-New York. Using JPY's pushing again. New Zealand cash chilling. Yeah, so it's really going to be interesting what this next candlestick does. That's what we're waiting for. As you can see, US30 is ripping. We're chilling right there. Yeah, we're about 500 pips away. Yeah, I'm trying to see if it's going to break this level to the left. It's struggling a little bit, but it's still trying. Still doing that. So this wick went farther than the past wick, which is a good sign, but it's still rejecting off this level. But let's see if it's going to be able to push through it in the next candlestick that's going to pop up. If you only see HF just ripping. So let's see what US30 is doing since. Okay, US30 just ripped with Jared 30. That's interesting. Oh, shit. TP2 hit. Jared 30's tanking. Oh, just hit another TP. Yeah, so Jared 30 is ripping. Yes, for y'all watching, y'all got in Jared 30, let me know in the comments. I want to see if anyone watching got into that. I know some of my members got into that. I wonder if anyone watching got into that because we're up a few thousand pips right now. URAD looks like it's going to try to push back down. Your CHS doing a retest. Want to see if that's going to push back down. So JPY is pushing back. Zealand Cats back at the bottom of the zone. Yeah, so we're deep in profit right now. So there's no reason to let your screen turn red at this point, even if it retraces harshly. I still wouldn't want to go back to the negatives or in zero. So it looks like it's about to retest a little bit right here. So we're going to see what this candlestick does. So this is pushes. So it's US30 and Jer's pushing. If it continues to push, then this whole setup's going to the trash. And then possibly I'll look for sell setups. So that's what I'm going to be paying attention for right now to see what that's going to do. What's the oil doing? Still pushing up. That's cool. Gold's doing that. Euro's pushing up right now. Everything's retracing right now, so that's cool. So we're about to see. I want to see it continue to push down. So that's what we're going to be looking for. We're going to see it's trying to push back down, which is a good sign. So it's pushing back down. Yeah, but I don't really see any other setups as of right now, so I'm just going to be focusing on these three, the 2 euro pairs, and then this one. Well, obviously, I'm still in CAD and JPY, but besides those, so now I want to see if it's going to break past this wick right here. Yeah, so we're just chilling in profit right now. It's trying to break this level, but we can only do so much till more volume picks up. It's not tripping too much on that. I want to see what the next candlestick does, though, because the next candlestick's either going to be a green one and then retest this level here. They're going to hit up to here probably, and then try to bring back down, or it's going to continue to push. So that's what I'm paying attention to right now. See what that's going to do. Euro AUD still underneath this level of price, just like what we saw at the beginning. Still hasn't gone any farther, any higher. So not too worried about that. And plus, it's still underneath this zone. So we have two cushions there, so I'm not really tripping about that. USCHF, still same thing. Still playing underneath this lower price right here, but you see it's trying to push back down. So we're only in a little bit of drawdown of both of those trades. US30, we're up a few thousand pips. Up about almost 4,000 pips right now. 3,000 and some change, so that ain't too bad. And we literally caught that in about 15, 20 minutes, if that. Just not too bad at all. And it's pushing down again. So that's good. So if these keep pushing down into New York, might look for some SPX plays. It's underneath the zone right now, so I might look for some SPX plays depending on what the next couple candlesticks look like and the volume. But we're almost at the final TP. We're about 1,700, 1,500 pips away. So 1,000, 1,500 pips away from the final TP. And it's pushing. Yeah, so we might get some money right here. We're just a few hundred pips away from the final TP. Let's see if we're going to hit it before this next candlestick. What video can you watch that explains SLs and take profits? So you're a member in the Advanced Play Sitting Room. So in the channel, in y'all's channel, multiple Zoom calls, the recorded Zoom calls, I talk about SLs and take profits. But if you want, I was thinking about doing it anyways, but I'll just push that up on the list. I will make a video specifically talking about that, breaking it down in detail. So just be on the lookout for that. But I got you. I will make a video on that because I don't really have one for that yet. So I'll definitely make a video on that. But since you're in the live, let me just talk about it real quick. So, and also I'm gonna have a Zoom call. What's today? Today, Tuesday. Yes, I'm actually having a Zoom call with y'all later tonight, anyways. So make sure to hop in on the Zoom call tonight. All right, it's gonna be at 9 o'clock EST, and I'll talk about that in the Zoom call as well. But basically, stop loss right here. There's minor take profits and there's the ultimate TPs. All right. So, like I always say, we do not control the markets. We're just merely a leaf in the current. So that's why it's our job to make sure that when we enter trades and risk our money, that the trade is most likely going to go in our way. Okay. It's never going to be 100%. It's never going to be 200%. But high 80%, like 75% to 95% is what we want to look for. Okay. So that's why, we do the top-down analysis for the daily time frame. We mark up the zones. Like I said, you're a member, so you should already know how to do it. If not, I'm going to be going over in the Zoom call, but I also have some recorded footage in the channel and in the group chat explaining step-by-step how to do that. So make sure you look those up too. But that's why we do the top-down analysis. We start the bigger time frames to see the overall direction of price. So that way we know the overall trend we're in. Then from there, we have the zones marked up, so we look for the best entry. Then from there, we understand how price works. So that's what we discover and determine the minor TPs and the ultimate TPs. But for the chance that price doesn't go our way, that's what the stop loss is for. My stop loss is placed at an area where, if price retraces to my stop loss and hits my stop loss, I was most likely wrong, and that's the signal to exit out the trade. So that's what the stop loss is for. Now, the ultimate TP from the stop loss to the entry to the ultimate TP is 1 to 3 risk reward. We're not going that far though. We're going to like right here. So it's like slightly a 1 to 1, but the bigger picture is 1 to 3. And it can very much pass these final TPs. But I know for a fact, once it hits this last TP, it is most likely, keyword most likely, going to harshly retrace. So to combat the retracement, That is the signal where I always say all TPs get hit, move SL in profit or close. That way you know this is a good point to close. Because again, you're not going to be able to catch every pip in the market. You want to catch a decent amount of pips consistently. You don't want to try to catch every pip in the market. So that is why my TPs are TPs. TP stands for take profit. You can never go wrong taking out, closing a trade on TP1. Never can go wrong closing trade on TP2, TP3, etc., because at the end of the day, the goal is to make money. So if you pull out after TP gets hit, you made money. You feel me? So you can never go wrong there. But that's just a brief description, explanation of what TPs and SLs are. Like I said, I'll go more into depth. I'll make a more into depth video on that. And if you're in the Zoom call, let me know, and then we can talk about it in the Zoom call as well, because I plan on talking about a lot of stuff in tonight's Zoom call. So make sure you tap into that. But we're almost there. It's literally, we're 400 pips away from the next TP and the final TP. SPX is underneath the zone now, which is a good thing. Your AUD still trying to push down. Your CHF's back down, which is cool. Yeah, but speaking of that, kind of made sense. Let me know. But if not, like I said, if you're in the Zoom call, we'll go more into depth with that with the other members, because we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff in tonight's Zoom call. But so far, we're starting London session off to a great start. Just an hour in, and we're already up 4,000 pips. So can't complain. And we're 400 pips, 500 pips away from the final TP. We see it's pushing, which is a good sign. SPX is pushing down. So this is why this is why I'm starting to do the live stream, so y'all can really see how I do things. Because now y'all, it's one thing for me to call the signals out, but now y'all see my mindset behind it. You see what makes me not enter a trade, what makes me wait to enter a trade, and all these things. So all y'all that got the membership, you got the knowledge on how to mark up the charts, how to see the charts, how I see them, and now you're also getting to see the live streams to see how I actually jump into the stuff. And also people that aren't members, these live streams help you out too, because you'll also be able to see exactly what I look for, my psychology while in a trade and while out of a trade, and etc. So it's really a win-win on both sides. Yeah, the US30 is shooting down too, so we could have possibly entered there, but again, we could have entered there because it was very close to the zone. Not gonna lie, we could have entered there, but we still got a good entry on J30, so can't complain too much. We're still making money, and there's still possible setups. Oh, all TPs just got hit. All TPs hit. Move SL in profit or close, y'all. About to let the signal room know. Yeah, so we're making some money now. We're making some money now. So that's what's up. So that thing's dumping. So don't be surprised if y'all see an SPX signal coming very soon at all, because yeah, we just made some money. Making some money. Hmm. Maybe some US2X shorts too. Maybe. Yeah, so it's looking good right now. We're looking good right now. Just an hour into London. And we already made a lot more pips than most people make in a couple hours of trading. Yeah, so I'm gonna see what the next candlestick does, but I might potentially look for some SPX sells soon. Sure, 30 still pushing doing its thing. We're almost in the middle of the zone now, which is a good thing. And my members, you know what the middle of the zone means, you know what the top of the zone means, you know what the bottom of the zone means. So you already know what I'm talking about when I mention those things. Now, there won't be a New York session Zoom call today, but for the members, tomorrow, of course, there's going to be on the stream the London session. I stream London Monday through Friday, 2:30 a.m. EST, and then Monday and Friday, sometimes Wednesdays. For the members, we'll do our pre-New York live trading and Zoom session, which is at 6:30 a.m. EST. But y'all saw the setups I'm looking for. I'm looking for potential SPX sales. We're in Jer 30 right now. We're in Euro CHF and Euro AUD. We're in a little bit of drawdown, but not too worried about it as of now. Still holding New Zealand CAD from the trade yesterday. Called this trade yesterday live, just like I called New Zealand JPY yesterday live. So, one thing that's very important, you see me notice I'm always talking about waiting for the next candlestick. You always see me talking about candlesticks in general. If you do not know how to read candlesticks, I have a video on my YouTube channel specifically talking about how to read candlesticks. I go over different candlesticks, I give examples, and it's very transparent and in detail. I highly suggest watching that, as well as watching the video on how to identify the trend. In that video, not only do I talk about how to identify the trend, but I actually give you an example of a trend switching and the signs, early signs to show that a trend can potentially be changing. So make sure to check those out. But yeah, I'm gonna be keeping an eye on these charts and making sure my members are straight. But I'll see you on the next live stream. If you didn't watch yesterday's live stream, I suggest watching that as well. But see y'all in the next stream.